Hi, my name's Nikki. I'm the Obsessive Bookseller, and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about my TBR for January 2022. This is going to be a little bit of a weird list. I have the main TBR that I set and plan for of books that I feel like I should be reading next, I would like to read. Most of them are continuations to series, others are obligations. And then I have a secondary list that I've been compiling of books and series that have really caught my eye lately that I kind of want to just drop everything and read, but can't bring myself to because I've got such good momentum going with all of the other reads I've got going on. So yeah, I'm going to present to you a massively overwhelming TBR and then proceed to stress myself out all month and maybe finish some of them. Or, if I practice what I preach, I will pick up one at a time, enjoy it for what it is, and maybe only get through a handful of them, but really enjoy the ones that I got through. It sure makes DNFing a lot easier when I use that method because if I'm that impatient to get to the next book, then I should be on the next book now. Anyway, the first thing I've got going on is a buddy read starting in fantasy buddy reads for Will Wright's first Cradle book. We've all heard kind of pretty good things about this series, one of the more successful self-published authors out there. And rumor has it he's releasing the final one in November, which might be book 11, in which case it makes sense that we're starting now and going one a month till then. But I purchased the first 6 or 7 on an Audible sale, and they've been just sitting around collecting virtual dust ever since. Per my challenges, which I have a video going up next week on this, I'm going to get through more of my audiobooks that I already own, and that'll take out a significant chunk of them. And I hear they're quick reads. Next, no one's surprised, The Trouble with Peace by Joe Abercrombie. The surprising thing is that I didn't make time to finish this in December, but I kind of overwhelmed myself and had multiple books going at once, and I'm lucky I didn't throw myself into a slump. But if I'm going to be patient and sit still with any one book, it's going to be this one this month. Next I have Where the Drowned Girls Go by Shian McGuire. It's book 7 in the Wayward Children series. I'm actually due to start book 4 today, and then we're going to read one a week until this comes out. I am very much loving this series. I don't like to read what the books are about. I don't want to know where we're going to go. I don't want to ruin any of the surprises, but the title of this one has me excited because book 3 had some tidbits on some characters I was really interested in, and I'm hoping that we find out more about them in this one. Very excited. My book club picked Doors of Sleep by Tim Pratt. It's the same author, T.A. Pratt, that wrote the Blood Engines Marla Mesa series that I talk a lot about. And I haven't read anything else from him, and I wasn't even the one to nominate this title. I'm surprised that other people have even heard of him. He's done a pretty good job making a name for himself since, like, the Kickstarter where I began with him. In any case, even though this one did not get my vote for the month, I really appreciate his writing style, and I hope to enjoy it. I have no idea what it's about, but I'm assuming it's a bit of a mind bender, and I'm not a huge fan of those in general, so I need more fantasy elements in my books. We'll see how it goes. I'm cautiously optimistic. Continuing the Vlad Tolstoy series in my buddy read group, we are moving on to Tiasa, at least the first part of that, and then jumping into Jerrig, which I've read Jerrig before, and in my experience with this reread, the chronological order is a lot of fun if you've read the series before, but I would strongly recommend going by the publication order, which this book of Jerrig has the first 3 titles in it. That's, in my opinion, the most engaging way to go. If I had started initially with a couple of the, prequel novels, such as Dragon and Taltosh, I don't know if I would have been excited to continue the series, whereas Jerrig and Yendi, that we read last month, was so good. We will be continuing there. Next, hopefully not to be put off another month, The Last Graduate by Naomi Novik. Really enjoyed the first book in the series. I like that the character is atypical, and she's not atypical in a way that's bothering me, but I know she's the reason a lot of people aren't enjoying the series overall, but I like her so far. She's in her own way a lot, so I think she will have a more interesting character arc than a likable character who seems to do no wrong. Living Dead in Dallas. I watched back a few videos that I recorded last month, and every time I talked about Dead Until Dark, I held up this novel because, they look pretty similar. But anyway, Living Dead in Dallas, this is the one I will actually be continuing this month if I have time. I feel like I'm forgetting one. My audiophile review obligation for the month is Far From the Light of Heaven by Tade Thompson, published by Orbit in October last year. It's the same premise I feel like I've read in the last 4 out of 5 sci-fis I've picked up, where they wake up after cryogenic suspension to find people dead. So kind of a murder mystery in space. I'm really hoping it gives me something that I haven't read before, because I'm really tired of the same cookie cutter stuff. Well, fingers crossed on that one. And now we're on to the random hodgepodge of titles that have just caught my eye lately. I can't seem to stop thinking about them. I see them in other videos. I'm like, oh, I need to read those. First one being We Ride the Storm by Devin Madsen. Apparently it was self-published but then picked up trad, so now it's got a gorgeous cover, and something about it is calling to me. I know absolutely nothing about it, but I keep thinking I want to read it sooner than later. No surprise here, everybody's talking about the Jade City trilogy by Fonda Lee. I like politically driven fantasy novels. I also love urban fantasy, and I hear they're kind of a hodgepodge of genres in that regard. Just listening to what it's about reminds me of the plot for the Heartstrikers series, and during a recent Barnes & Noble hardcover sale, I picked up the third one. I don't know what possessed me. I haven't read the series yet. I try to wait until I've read them before I bring them home. Massive collection over here, notwithstanding. And then I used some Christmas gift cards to buy the first two, and yeah, I'm set now. I have to like these because I've spent a lot of resources on them, but they are gorgeous. I'm looking forward to that one. I also have been eagerly wanting to read Transformation by Carol Berg. Someone mentioned in the comments how close to Robin Hobb the writing was, and I'm all over that. It's an author I've been meaning to get to for a long time anyway, so that's very far up on the list of things. And then I would love to read anything by Adrian Tchaikovsky. Such a prolific author, and someone I haven't read anything from, but every time I turn around there's a new book that looks really cool written by him, and I had never even heard of it before. So in audio, I have Children of Time, but I think my highest, I also have this one in audio. My highest priority is Guns of Dawn. Someone personally recommended it to me after we had just got done reading a ton of Flintlock fantasy. They said it's like a match made in heaven and I should read it. So I'm gonna read it. I don't know when. I probably should have mentioned this at the beginning of the video, but I am continuing from last month Age of Ash, the first book in the Kithamar series by Daniel Abraham. It is so good so far. His characterization just speaks to my soul. I feel so invested in these characters. I feel very angry at a couple of the characters, and anybody who can evoke that kind of reaction from me, way good. And when I finish that one, I will be immediately picking up The Misfit Soldier by Michael Mamet, which is due to come out in February as well. Kind of try to get myself ahead of the ARC train a little bit, so I'm not reading frantically at the last minute. And it seems to feel like less of an obligation read if I give myself plenty of time. So yeah, super excited for both of those. And that's my list. It seems like a really ambitious one. I know I'm not going to be able to get through everything. I kind of have to decide whether or not I want to stick to the awesome books that I have planned to read, or if I want to go rogue and pick up something random. The problem is the ones that I really want to continue reading I know are super good, such as The Trouble with Peace. So if I go rogue, I miss out on an Abercrombie book in favor of one that I'm not even positive I'm going to like. I need more time in the day. And actually, to that end, I've been trying to make more time to read throughout the day, which I haven't seen any remarkable pickup in speed of reading yet, but I really appreciate that. My first thought is to nurture that habit over other ones. I even deleted all social media off of my phone. So if I'm slow to catch up on comments these days, there's a very good reason. I finally set myself some good limits. But that is a ramble for another day. I want to know what books are on your TBR this month. Just remember the 2 mantras. Read the best books first because you may not have a chance to read them all, and life's too short to read books you're not enjoying. I try to live with those philosophies and it gives me zen. Thank you so much for joining me on today's video, and I hope to catch you next time. Bye.